everybody. How's everybody doing today? I love that. Thank you for getting the energy up. I'm really excited to have these panelists here because scaling is one of the biggest things and the problems for Canadian companies. So I'm really excited here to hear from these panelists. So let's start with a bit of an introduction and then we'll get into business. So I'll start with you, Eve.
Hi everyone, I am Eve Lam. I am the Chief Information Security Officer at Trust Wallet. Before I joined Trust Wallet 2 years ago, I spent a decade in Wall Street. But joining the blockchain world really made me feel so excited about security, even more than before, because I am a true believer that the blockchain and the crypto are the future. I believe the mission to make our user seamlessly, securely navigating all the exciting opportunity in the decentralized world is a mission, not just for me, but enabling everyone to be in this world. Thank you so much for having me today.
Hi everyone, my name is Layla and I'm a Senior Software Development Manager at WonderFi. I've been with WonderFi over 3 years and that was my introduction to the crypto space, and it's never a dull moment in this industry. So it's been exciting being part of this whole industry and getting to learn from everyone, and I'm looking forward to learning more today. This is my first panel, so I'm a little nervous, but
maybe we can give her a hand, guys. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Shanice. As you can probably tell from the Australian accent, I'm from Australia, so we've had a long flight to get here today. I'm really pleased to be here. I'm the Head of Ecosystem and Business Development for Nexa. We are a UTXO Layer 1 blockchain and coin, and I'm really passionate about user experiences. I have a 10-year career in marketing and business development, and now bringing that into the crypto industry over the last 5 years. I've built an awesome career, we work with amazing people, and yeah, really excited to be here, so thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Kaylin. I'm the Head of Partnerships and Business Development for Super Team Canada. We work closely with the Solana Blockchain Foundation to grow the community and ecosystem here in Canada, so supporting startups building on the Solana blockchain, community events. We have a 16-day startup village going on right now as well for Solana hackathon teams. And my background is entrepreneurial. I was a social entrepreneur in the financial inclusion space. And when I discovered blockchain, I definitely believed that it was the future and it was going to change the world more than what I was doing. So I'm here and very excited to be here.
Well, thank you for that, ladies. I'll start with the first question, which is, when you are growing a team, how do you get people to be on the same page? So I'll actually start with you, Kaylin.
All right. For me, I really focus on the why. Why are we doing this? What is our vision? Sometimes when not everyone is aligned on the vision, looking at their underlying motivations, what drives them, and why did they join in the first place? For Super Team Canada, it's a lot about community building as opposed to scaling an internal team. So everyone is really excited about the future of blockchain, in particular Solana, and rallying around how that can change the world.
Go ahead.
When building teams, I think it's really important. Has that just dropped out? I believe it's really important to align the team with the vision for the project or whatever it is that you're building as well. I know for us at Nexa, we've developed a network that is a more scalable version of Bitcoin with the inbuilt native token services and smart contract capabilities of Ethereum. And so what we have is a team that are really enthusiastic about building the future of what sound money looks like and how that functions in the world. And so I think having conviction about the vision of what you're building is a key to building a team. And I find a lot with crypto projects, as I come from a marketing and business background, a lot of crypto projects tend to operate kind of in a grey area. They're not quite adopting that traditional company structure. They're not quite operating as a decentralized organization. They're somewhere in between, but there's still a place for those processes, those channels, and that structure to help your team onboard them into the space. I really believe we can't have mass adoption until we have operational succession within our teams. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add to what Selin was saying about how the why is really important. When I'm talking to my developers, they actually really care about the why of why we're building something. And we normally have those discussions and refinement meetings, and setting up the context behind why we're building something helps future-proof it, helps them make decisions to design whatever we're building in a way that it's future-proof and architectured in a way that we're keeping the future in mind. So it's really important to have a well-defined vision and have the context discussions with the engineering teams as well. So I try and always be fully transparent with them and have those discussions.
Yeah, I like this question. I think aligning the team mission is never something easy. In Trust Wallet, we have people over more than 10 time zones, fully remote, and aligning hundreds of staff in the same mission is very difficult, but it's doable. So what we do, we have a lobster mission. We want to enable our users securely, seamlessly in DeFi world. So that's the first thing. But then we have a technique called OKR, which stands for objective and key results. So when we have the company level, hey, this quarter you need to achieve this objective, but then individually we break down into small, actionable, achievable tasks. So people, okay, I want to focus on this, but at the same time, align with the company message is really crucial, especially when everyone is remote. So asynchronization is the key. So we also use the tool like Notion to collaborate, to, we just can talk offline. We don't always need to have a big team drum on a meeting to make a decision, right? That's not effective. I think at the end of the day, I agree about why it's very important. But I think when people understand their small tasks actually matter to the company mission, they align easier. So that's the technique we are using.
Well, thank you for that insight. And I think going next from there is basically understanding the qualities in the people as you are growing. So what do you look for within your organization as you're scaling?
I would say extreme ownership, right? If you own something, you care about it, you just get it done. It's the top quality I think also communication, especially when we are fully remote, how to not wait for a big meeting, somebody to tell you what to do, but make progress when other teammates are sleeping, but you already prepare all the information. So a strong communicator is extremely important. And the last thing, but not least, is self-motivated. So you know what to do. You don't need your your manager to tell me, hey, what to do today. You already have a plan in your head because you have extreme ownership. I think these are the quality and the mindset even more important than crypto experience. Because myself, I was in Wall Street before. I didn't have crypto experience, but I learned on the job. So that's what I think important qualities.
Yeah, that's really important, especially when I'm looking for developers. I'm not looking for someone coming from a crypto background. While when we're scaling, having someone with technical skills is really important. The soft skills are not to be understated. Having someone to be super adaptable in our industry was constantly changing with new regulations, security vulnerabilities is super important. Having someone who is good at solving problems and asking the right questions. So, and with what you were saying, like communication skills are super important. When I'm hiring developers, I'm looking for all of these as well, as someone who can think about the big picture and be an innovator, because in this field that's constantly changing, we need to set ourselves up for success for the future.
I love what you said about adaptability. I think we can all agree, for anyone that's been in crypto, whether a couple of months, a couple of years, or since the early days, adaptability is a really strong characteristic and skill to have in this industry. I mean, the crypto markets are 24/7, unlike our traditional markets. So sometimes you could be sleeping and you might miss something. So having a team that is adaptable is extremely important. I think one of the other skills or the other qualities that we really look for, and I'm actually thinking of this as we've got Francis sitting in the front row, one of my team members. I had the privilege of interviewing him recently and he's just come on board, and I'm thinking something that I look for when we're increasing or growing our team is a willingness to learn, because we are still early in this industry and there is room for everyone to come in and bring the skill sets that you have from your previous role into this space. I mean, we've all started somewhere in this space. We didn't all start with a technical knowledge base or anything like that. And I also do believe it splits off into two branches. We have our technical roles and our non-technical roles. And so, you know, obviously with your technical roles, you're looking for programming languages and adaptability and development skills, and then our non-technical roles, there's a lot of room for people to come in that have marketing and business skills, and you know, often they don't know if they can venture into this space because they're not sure how those skills translate. But I promise there's room for everyone. So yeah, just looking for people that are willing to learn, are willing to grow, and are passionate about being a part of it.
We're really fortunate to have a ton of communities. We have events every Friday in 3 cities around Canada. So being able to see who is showing up consistently, engaged, offering to help, those are the kind of people that we look for, as well as taking ownership, which I think is very important, an entrepreneurial drive, people that want to start something, that have ideas, that want to talk to you about their ideas. I think that allowing people to take ownership of something that they've thought of in terms of the vision and what we want to accomplish as a team is very important. Giving people the freedom to try and to fail forward. And people who don't take failure as failure but as a lesson. Ultimately, it's very important to us to be working with people who also align and really have passion for the vision that we're trying to achieve. Because if you care about the why and what we're trying to do and you're showing up and demonstrating that, then that is a really positive indicator.
Okay, well, thanks for that. And so something else I want to touch on here, because, you know, a lot of people may be wondering, like, okay, great, you know, this is who you hire, but, like, do you have rituals that you follow within your organization that help you maintain that base, that help you stay in alignment? Because it's also the how that's really important for people to understand as you keep growing. So I'll start with you.
Thank you. I would say a synchronized communication effectively. As I mentioned, we use Notion. We have very good documentation. Not document just because I want to make documentation, but really to facilitate people from different time zones. You don't have to wait for a meeting in order to collect the data. Opinion from, the whole firm, and then make the decision and drive things forward. So that's the first thing I want to call out. I think secondly, I want to share, because I am in the security, is a post-mortem, blameless culture. So in engineering, in security, we have incident, we may have some outage, right? We always write down factual information. Why did it happen? And how did we, mitigate the problem? But our focus is not to point the finger. It's like, hey, let's spend more time to talk about what can we do better. Because if we learn some lesson in this incident, we can share and think a better solution across the company so other people can benefit. I would say this one, it doesn't matter it's a technical post-mortem or it's whatever in department. It's something really crucial to build the trust and also the collaboration among different teams.
100%. I fully agree with that. And in my teams, we use the Agile Scrum processes, which I'm a really big fan of. I do think that they really help keep the team organized and keep the team on track with meeting deliverables. One of the best practices we do is sprint reviews, which help us celebrate the little small minor wins that we have every 2 weeks. Because sometimes a big project can take about like several months to complete, but if you're having these constant sprint reviews and celebrating wins as they come up, then that gives the developers a sense of ownership over the progress that they're making, and it continues to give them motivation to keep it going and keep it steamrolling. And another really important process, I think, is having product refinements, because that's when you discuss about the why and the context, and developers can really have an open dialogue with the product manager as well of what they're building, how it needs to behave. They can have a discussion with the designers and potentially give suggestions. So it feels like they're being integrated into the process of making decisions. So I'm all for Agile and Scrum practices.
I love Agile as well. So I don't know how many of you know, but Nexa is being developed by the Bitcoin Unlimited organization, so the same team that worked on Bitcoin Cash. And we actually have a voting system for major decisions that happen in the organization for the project. And what this does is it gives the entire team that are part of the organization to have a say and have their input directly on the big development decisions that are made for the project, and everyone has their say. And I love that. I think that's a characteristic of what a decentralized organization truly is and should be, is that peer-to-peer input, and having the team, take ownership of the decisions that they make. And that way, when something is passed and it moves through, we can each say with confidence that that's something we all wanted, we all agreed on, and we believe that's the best thing for the project, or that's the next best focus for us, depending what it is. So that's one of the things that we utilize, which has been really effective in helping us to push forward. And I think communication is also the key, the important one as well.
I was also going to say communication. We have so many Telegram groups across, internally, but also with our partners. So any initiative that we have outside of the core team, everyone is involved in that Telegram chat, anyone who might touch the project. And I think that's really important so that people have context as to why they're working on what they're working on. But as a former UX designer at one point, I know that working very, very closely with developers was key. There were often really small decisions that I would make that I would find out later I thought were a nice touch, and the developers told me it would take an extra 3 days. So definitely a ton of communication and not putting too much time into designing a feature that we think is important but is really just going to drain our resources. So having input, I love the voting system. That's very cool.
I agree with that. I think DAOs are the future, so absolutely. I really wanted to thank all of you for being here, and I want you to share how people can get in touch with you, because I only think we have a couple minutes left. So I'll start with you, Kaylin.
So you can find me on LinkedIn, but also Super Team Canada is on LinkedIn, and you can find me from there. I'm on Twitter, but as @KaylinBR. And I'm also going to be at the Solana Startup Village for the next, until Friday, every day, all day. So you can find me there in person too.
You can find me on Twitter or X, whichever you prefer, under Shek Creator, SHEK Creator. And you can find Nexa also on X at Nexa Money. We also have a booth outside, so feel free to come up. We have some free merch and stress balls for you as well, if you like.
You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Feel free to send me a connection. I will accept it. And I'm also going to be at the FemTech event on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that as well. But you won't find me in the Toronto space because I'm from Vancouver, so I'm heading back there after this week.
You guys can find me on TrustWallet X.com, just X.com @TrustWallet. And they always make posts about me, so you can also add me, follow me. I need more followers. Also on the X. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your conference. Let's give a round of applause for this great panel.